Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we will present about government intervention, minimum price and subsidy. My name is Khairul Azam bin Samsi Kaha. My partner is Muhammad Jazili Fitri bin Muhammad Syafiq Lu. My class is AT11028. Subject is AGR 113. My lecturer name is Nur Shilawati binti Abdul Aziz. What is government intervention? Government intervention is regulatory action taken by government that seek to change the decision made by individual, group and organisation about social and economic matters. Government intervention is any action carried out by the government that affect the market with the objective of changing the free market equilibrium or outcome. Reason for government intervention in the economy. There are many reasons why the government might intervene in the economy. They may do so in order to promote fair competition or prevent monopolies. They may also intervene when economic conditions or poverty are worsening by taking steps to curb inflation or raise or lower interest rate. The government has historically intervened to correct social welfare issues with programs such as unemployment insurance, welfare programs such as the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families (TANF), Medicaid and free education. They may also use tax or tax break to redistribute income. For example, the Earned Income Tax Credit is a credit given to families with a low or moderate income to reduce their tax burden. The government may use regulation and law to improve trade, provide public service and goods, or boost the economy. There are other reasons the government might intervene. For example, they are often intervene to protect people or the environment. There are laws to protect the safety of drinking water and air quality, and the use for cutting products such as lead or asbestos in home and building. In 1970, Congress created the Occupational Safety and Health Administration to ensure safe working conditions for workers. These are intervention do affect the economy, although their benefit is not merely financial. Types of government intervention in economy. First, tax or tax break, subsidies, price control, regulation, and lastly, federal student loan programs. What is subsidy? A subsidy is a benefit given to an individual, business, or institution, usually by the government. It can be direct, such as cash payment, or indirect, such as tax break. The subsidy is typically given to remove some type of burden, and it is often considered to be in the overall interest of the public, given to promote a social good or an economic policy. Main function of subsidy. A subsidy is a direct or indirect payment to individuals or firms, usually in the form of a cash payment from the government or a targeted tax cut. In economic theory, subsidies can be used to offset market failures and externalities to achieve greater economic efficiency. However, critics of subsidy point to problems with calculating optimal subsidies, overcoming unseen costs, and preventing optical incentives from making subsidies more burdensome than they are beneficial. How subsidy works in economy. A subsidy is generally some form of payment provided directly or indirectly to receiving individual or business entity. Subsidies are generally seen as a privileged types of financial aid, as they lessen and societal burden that was previously left against the receiver or promote a particular action by providing financial support. Subsidies have an opportunity cost. Consider the Great Depression era agriculture subsidy described later in this story. It had very visible effects, and farmers saw profit rise and hire more workers. The invisible costs include what would have happened with all of those dollars without the subsidy. Money from the subsidy had to be taxed from individual income, and consumers were hit again when they faced higher food price at the grocery store.
Types of subsidies. A subsidy typically supports particular sectors of a nation's economy. It can assist struggling industry by lowering the burdens placed on them or encourage them developments by providing financial support for their endeavors. Often, these areas are not being effectively supported through the action of the general economy or may be undercut by activities in rival economies. Type of subsidies. There is two type of subsidy, which is direct subsidies and indirect subsidies. Direct subsidies are those that involve an actual payment of funds towards a particular individual, group or industries. Indirect subsidies are those that do not hold a predetermined monetary value or involve actual cash outlays. They can include activities such as reduction for required goods or service that can be government supported. This allows the needed item to be purchased below the current market rate, resulting in savings for those whom the subsidy is designed to help. Impact of subsidies. The general impact of subsidies is that they make it easy for firms to produce certain goods. After all, they're being assisted with free cash or tax burdens. These tax burdens or cash payment reduce the production expenses producers have to be bear. In the end, consumers will be paying less for the subsidies product. From this, we can tell that there are two general impacts of subsidies. The first impact of subsidy is the reduction in both production costs and the price of the commodity, making consumers buy more of that product. The second impact of subsidies is that more firms will enter the market for subsidies product since it is now affordable for them to produce. So we move to the next part. Minimum price. A minimum price sets the lowest level that a good or service can legally be sold for. The desired effect is that consumption of the good will fall, resulting in a welfare gain for society. Why minimum price is needed? Setting a minimum price could be used in the following situation. First, when the good is a demerit good, such as alcohol or other drugs, a minimum price can help reduce demand. Second, when there are information gap, meaning that the consumer fails to perceive the impact of consumption on themselves, such as the long-term impact on their health. Third, if the good is non-renewable and is currently consumed at an unsustainable rate, a minimum price will restrict demand on and conserve resources. If the good or service is sold by below the market rate by a firm looking to gain an unfair competitive advantage. And the lastly is the price of labor. Its wage rates may be supported by a minimum wage policy, which can help poverty, pay and wage inequality. A minimum wage can also provide an injection of spending into the circular flow of income. So this is the example of minimum price diagram. Graphically, the effect of setting a minimum price is that demand contract from A to B. The contraction of demand can be explained through a negative income and substitution effect. An increase in price, assuming income remains constant, reduce real income, the income effect, and assuming the price of substitutes remain constant, an increase in rice makes substitutes appear cheaper, the substitution effect. Raising price to the minimum level also affect supply, which extend from A to C. The reaction of producer to this is based on the effect of a price rise on expected revenue and profits. A higher, a higher price will act as an incentive to increase supply. The effect of these two reactions is create supplies of the good from B to C, Q1 and Q2. Of course, this reaction only happens if the minimum set is set above the market rate. If it is set below, the market rate prevails. So that is the end of our slide. Thank you.